Have you ever woken up in a room that does not feel like yours? Maybe it smells different, the sheets are stiff, and there is a clock ticking too loud on the wall. Now imagine that being your everyday. Meals are planned for you, your schedule is fixed, and your grandkids can only visit during approved hours. That is the reality for many seniors. But aging should not mean losing your voice, your choices, or your joy. It should mean living, not just existing. When most people think about aging, they picture a nursing home. It is just the default idea, right? But here is the thing. It is not the only way, and for many people it is not even the best way. Sure, if someone needs round-the-clock medical care, a nursing home might make sense. But what about the rest of us? What if you want to keep your freedom, your routines, and your connections to friends and family? What if other paths still provided care, but let you live life on your terms? In this video, we are going to talk about 5 real alternatives. Each one offers support while honoring who you are. So whether you are planning for yourself or someone you love, this could be the turning point that helps you see aging through a brand new lens. Let's face it, moving into a nursing home is not easy. It can feel like trading your independence for structure. Sure, they provide meals and medication management, but many seniors feel like they have lost control of their day-to-day lives. Imagine living by someone else's schedule, in a place that just does not feel like home. It can be isolating, and on top of that, it is expensive. But the good news is, you do have options that offer care without giving up your freedom. The first, aging in place with home care assistance. Let's be real. Most people want to stay in the place they know best. Home. It is where your favorite chair sits, where every picture on the wall tells a story, and where the coffee tastes just the way you like it. That is the heart of aging in place. And the best part? With a little help, it is more than just possible, it is practical. Aging in place means getting to keep your independence while still receiving the care you need. It is about having trained caregivers come to you instead of moving into a facility that feels unfamiliar. Think about how comforting it is to sleep in your bed, eat meals in your kitchen, and sit by your window watching the neighborhood you have known for years. Technology has also made a big difference. Now we have medical alert systems, video check-ins, smart lighting, motion sensors, and even voice assistants that can help remind you to take medication or call for help. These tools do not replace people, but they sure do give peace of mind. Let me tell you about Mr. George. He is 82 and still lives in the home he bought with his wife back in the 1970s. His kids were raised there. The backyard has his old swing bench, and the living room still smells like the books he collects. George gets a little help from Linda, a part-time caregiver who stops by each morning. She helps with his breakfast, checks on his medication, and sometimes joins him for a walk around the block. Twice a month his doctor visits the house to make sure everything is on track. George says, "I may be old, but here, I'm still the boss." That is what aging in place gives you: control. You set the rhythm of your day, you decide what you eat and when. You keep the routines that feel right to you. There is no adjusting to someone else's schedule, no waiting around for someone to come help with a basic task. For many families, this setup is not just about comfort, it is about connection. When seniors live at home, they often stay more socially active. Neighbors drop by, grandkids visit more often. There is a stronger sense of being part of the community. And research shows that staying in familiar surroundings can actually reduce stress and improve mental health. Of course, it is not a one-size-fits-all solution. If someone needs around-the-clock medical care or struggles with memory loss, a different option might work better. But for those who are relatively healthy and mobile, aging in place offers the freedom and dignity that so many crave. Another benefit? Cost. While professional caregivers do come with a price tag, it is often far less expensive than paying for a full-time nursing facility. Plus, you can scale the support. Maybe it is a few hours a day, maybe just help with errands or bathing. The key is planning. It helps to start with a home safety assessment. Are the hallways clear? Are there grab bars in the bathroom? Is the lighting bright enough? Small changes can make a big impact. So if you or someone you love values independence, comfort, and staying close to the life you have built, this might be the right fit. It is not just about growing old, it is about continuing your story in the place where it began. Talk with your family, look into local home care services, explore what is possible, because aging at home is not just a dream, it is a decision that many are making every day. The second, independent living communities. Let's talk about independent living communities. These places are not nursing homes, and they are not retirement homes in the old school sense either. Think of them as vibrant neighborhoods designed just for older adults who still want to live independently, but with way fewer responsibilities. Now here is the beauty of it. You get your own private space, whether that is an apartment, a cottage, or a small home, and you can come and go as you please. You do not have to worry about mowing the lawn, fixing the roof, or cooking every single meal. These communities usually include meal plans, housekeeping, and even transportation. So, instead of running errands all day, you can relax and enjoy your time. Let me tell you about Sarah. She is a 75-year-old retired schoolteacher who moved into an independent living community in Arizona. She was living alone and got tired of dealing with home maintenance and feeling isolated. Now she wakes up and joins a morning Tai Chi class. After breakfast in the dining hall, she heads to the craft room or joins a book club. In the evening, she has dinner with friends and sometimes watches a movie in the community theater. She has found not only convenience but connection. That is the thing. These communities are built for interaction. You are surrounded by people in the same stage of life, many of whom are looking to build new friendships. There are walking groups, hobby clubs, discussion circles, fitness centers, and even cooking classes. The social calendar can be as full as you want it to be. What makes this option appealing to many is that you still call the shots. You decorate your space. You decide your daily schedule. If you want privacy, you can have it. If you want a connection, it is right outside your door. It is like having freedom with a support system in place, just in case you need it. Some people worry it might feel like college all over again, and you know what? That is not a bad thing. Many residents say it feels like going back to dorm life, but this time with better food, more wisdom, and zero exams. Financially, it is often more manageable than people assume. Costs can vary, but when you add up home maintenance, groceries, transportation, and utilities, many seniors find that independent living is cost-effective. Some communities even offer income-based rates or flexible lease terms. Now, it is important to know that independent living does not include medical care. If someone needs help with medication, bathing, or mobility, they may need to bring in outside support or consider assisted living instead. But for active seniors who just want life to be a little easier and a lot more fun, this is a great fit. A big part of this lifestyle is wellness. These communities often emphasize physical activity, mental stimulation, and emotional well-being. That might mean morning yoga, afternoon brain games, or evening concerts. You are not just living, you are thriving. So if you or someone you know is starting to feel that maintaining a home is more stressful than rewarding, it might be time to look into independent living. Go visit a few places, talk to the residents, walk around the community and ask yourself, can I see myself here? Because aging should not mean retreating from life. It should mean leaning into what matters most: friendship, freedom, and a sense of purpose. Independent living communities can offer all of that and more, and for many, they are not just an alternative to nursing homes, they are a better way forward. The third, multigenerational living with family. Multigenerational living. For some, the idea brings back memories of childhood, grandparents in the back room, cousins running around the yard. For others, it is a brand new concept. But in many parts of the world, and increasingly here in the United States, living with family across generations is making a big comeback. And it is not hard to see why. Life gets busy, expensive, complicated, and for seniors, living alone can feel isolating. Meanwhile, younger families are juggling childcare, work, and the rising cost of housing. So what happens when everyone comes together under one roof? Something powerful, something practical. Let's take Maria's story. She is 74, sharp as a tack, and full of stories. A few years ago, after her husband passed away, she sold her home and moved into the guest house behind her daughter's place in Oregon. She has her own space with a small kitchen, a bedroom, and her garden out back. Every Friday night she hosts a movie night for the grandkids. Sometimes she helps them with homework. Sometimes she teaches them how to make her famous chicken and rice. What she has is more than a place to live. She has a purpose. She has a connection. She is not just being taken care of. She is part of the care team herself. Multi-generational homes can take many forms. Some families build a basement apartment. Others renovate the garage. Some buy homes with dual living areas. The setup is not as important as the intention, to live together in a way that supports everyone's needs. Of course, it is not always easy. Families need to communicate, expectations need to be clear, boundaries matter. You might need to talk about who does what, when visitors are welcome, or how quiet time works. But the payoff, it can be huge. There are emotional benefits. Seniors feel less lonely. They stay mentally sharper. Younger family members benefit too. They grow up closer to their roots, learning patience, empathy, and respect for elders. There are financial benefits as well. Sharing a household means sharing costs. Utilities, groceries, and even in-home caregiving services become more manageable. And let's not forget the practical stuff. If a grandparent lives in the home, there is often someone available during the day when kids come home from school. That can mean fewer after-school programs or babysitter expenses. It is a win-win for everyone. You might wonder, is this just for big families with lots of space? Not at all. Even a modest home can be adjusted to work. And if you think your family might not get along in close quarters, remember this. With honesty, patience, and mutual respect, people can grow together. This type of living does not mean losing your independence. It means rethinking it. Maria still makes her own decisions, keeps her routines, and has quiet mornings with her coffee and newspaper. But she also has a little extra help when she needs it, and people around who care deeply. More and more families are turning to this model, not just out of necessity, but because it feels good. It feels natural, and it brings a sense of safety and support that no facility can quite match. If you are thinking about multi-generational living, start with a conversation. Ask what matters most to everyone involved. Look at your space, talk through the hard stuff, and dream a little about what it could be like. Because sometimes, the best solution is not something new, it is something old, familiar, and full of love. The fourth, co-housing or shared living arrangements. Now let's talk about something a little different. Co-housing or shared living arrangements. If you have ever said, "I do not want to live alone, but I am not ready for a facility," this could be just the thing. Co-housing is all about community. It means living with other people, often in a shared home or complex, where everyone has their own private space but common areas like kitchens, gardens, or living rooms are shared. It is not a commune, and it is not college dorm life. It is a thoughtful setup, built on the idea that connection matters. Let me introduce you to Helen. She is 76, and after her husband passed, she found herself in a big house with too many empty rooms and not enough laughter. Her kids lived out of state, and though she loved her independence, the quiet started feeling a little too loud. So she did something bold. She teamed up with 3 other women from her church and moved into a shared home just outside Asheville. Each of them has her room and bathroom, but they share a kitchen, take turns cooking, and have tea together most afternoons. Helen says the best part is not having to eat alone. They have built a new kind of family. They celebrate birthdays together, help each other with doctor appointments, and have created a rhythm that feels both safe and fulfilling. Co-housing is not just for friends. Some people join established senior co-housing communities, where like-minded individuals live in a planned neighborhood with shared responsibilities and decision-making. Others join home-sharing programs that match older adults with housemates, sometimes even across generations. A younger person might provide light chores or tech help in exchange for a lower rent. The beauty of this model is flexibility. You get to choose how it works for you. There are real benefits. First, the cost. Shared living means shared bills, utilities, groceries, home repairs. That can stretch retirement savings a lot further. Second, companionship. It is much harder to feel lonely when there is someone down the hall to chat with, or a game night waiting in the living room. There is also a safety factor. Living with others means someone is nearby in case of an emergency. That alone can bring peace of mind to both residents and their families. And here is the heart of it. Shared living offers a balance. You are not completely alone and you are not in an institutional setting. You are part of something by choice, not by necessity. That makes a difference. Of course, it is not without its challenges. It takes communication, compromise, and the right mindset. But for those who are open to it, the rewards can be huge. Think about the way people used to live, neighbors watching out for one another, friends becoming like family. Co-housing brings that spirit back, but in a modern, intentional way. So if you are someone who thrives around others, likes the idea of shared meals and stories, and does not want to go it alone, co-housing could be your next great chapter. You can start small, talk to a friend, look into local listings or organizations that support shared housing. Visit a co-housing community near you and see how it feels. Because aging does not have to mean isolation, it can mean connection, laughter, and waking up each day knowing you are part of something real. And sometimes, that little sense of belonging makes all the difference. The fifth, assisted living facilities. Let's take a closer look at assisted living. A lot of people hear that term and automatically think of nursing homes, but the truth is, they are two very different things. Assisted living is more like having just the right amount of help while still living life your way. Picture this. You have your own apartment, your own front door, and your own favorite chair. But you also have a team nearby who can lend a hand whenever you need it. Whether that means help with dressing, reminders to take medication, or someone to prepare meals, you get the support without sacrificing your space or independence. Let me tell you about Frank. He is 79, a retired veteran who always prided himself on doing things his way, but arthritis started making things tough. Getting up and down the stairs, cooking meals, even managing daily tasks, it all became a little too much. That is when he moved into an assisted living facility in his hometown. Now, Frank still starts every day with coffee and the morning news in his living room. He plays poker twice a week with his buddies down the hall. He joined an art class for the first time in his life and has even started painting landscapes. And the best part? When he needs help, he gets it, quickly, respectfully, and with a smile. Assisted living is about balance. It gives you a blend of autonomy and care. You are not being monitored every second, but you are not on your own either. Staff are available 24 hours a day, meals are taken care of, and there are tons of social activities to keep your mind and body active. For many residents, the transition into assisted living brings a sense of relief. They do not have to worry about grocery shopping or whether someone will be there if they fall. They know they are safe, but they also know they are still very much in charge of how they live. These communities often feel more like resorts than institutions. You will find libraries, gardens, fitness centers, and theaters. Weekly outings to museums, farmers markets, or local events are common. Some even have happy hour or live music on Fridays. It is a lifestyle built around support and enjoyment. Now, cost is something people ask about a lot. Assisted living is not cheap, but it is often more affordable than full nursing home care. And when you consider what is included, housing, meals, care, activities, transportation, it starts to make sense for many families. Also, many facilities allow you to personalize your space. Bring your own furniture, your own decorations, your memories. It becomes home, not just a place to stay. One more thing, assisted living is a great option for couples with different needs. Maybe one person needs daily care and the other does not. These communities can support that. They keep people together, even as their health needs begin to change. If you or someone you love is starting to need more help with the everyday stuff, but still wants to live with dignity, joy, and freedom, assisted living might be the right fit. Take the time to visit a few places, meet the staff, talk to the residents, sit in the garden, or attend an event. Imagine your life there. Because sometimes, the best way to keep living fully is to get a little help along the way. And that is what assisted living is all about, support that respects your story and helps you write the next chapter your way. So here we are. We have looked at 5 very different paths, and yet they all share one powerful thing in common. They put your life, your preferences, and your dignity front and center. None of these options ask you to give up who you are. Instead, they give you a new way to keep being you, even as your needs change. Think about George, waking up in the home where he raised his children. He gets help when he needs it, but he is still in control. Or Sarah, who traded loneliness for a community that energizes her every day. Maria is more than a grandma. She is the heart of her household. Helen is no longer alone, but part of a sisterhood she never expected. And Frank? He is painting again, finding joy in ways he had forgotten. These are not just stories, they are proof. Proof that aging can be full of life, full of purpose, full of freedom. You do not have to follow the path everyone assumes is the only one. You get to choose. You get to ask, what kind of life do I want to live? And then go live it. With care, with community, with courage. Because the truth is, aging does not mean less, it just means different. And different can be beautiful. So let's bring it all together. We have talked about 5 strong alternatives to traditional nursing homes, and each one reminds us that growing older does not have to mean giving up what makes life feel full. Whether it is aging in place, finding comfort in an independent community, living with family, sharing a home with friends, or getting the right balance of support in assisted living, these options show that there is more than one way to age with grace and confidence. The key is this. Think about what matters most to you. Is it freedom, connection, familiar surroundings? Maybe it is all of the above. You deserve care that fits not just your needs, but your values, your lifestyle, and your story. Have these conversations now. Explore possibilities before they feel urgent, because the sooner you know your options, the more empowered you will be. Aging is not a problem to be solved, it is a chapter to be lived well, and when you plan with intention, you open the door to a future that feels like your own. Now that you have seen these options, we would love to hear from you. Which one feels like the right fit for your life or your family? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. Your story could inspire someone else. If this video helped you think differently about aging, consider subscribing to our channel. Hit that like button and share this with someone who needs it. Together, we can make conversations about aging more honest, hopeful, and helpful.